Hi everyone. In today's session, we are going to cover a simple formula which everyone must be aware, but we will explore all the possible scenarios in which we can use this particular formula. There might be many other cases where we can use this, but not many might be aware. So the formula which I'm speaking today will be sum product. So the simple usage of sum product will be to find a total of the multiple transactions. For example, like this, in this particular data, we have the units and the unit cost. If I want to know the total, I can multiply one by one and then total it like this, or simply I can use sum product, which is nothing but is equal to sum product. First array will be the units and the second array will be unit cost. So if I do this, what sum product will do? It will multiply 95 into 1.99, which gives me 189.05 plus second case 999.50. It will add up all the product totals. So that's the simple usage of sum product. But there are many other use cases which we can use sum product. So let's answer all these questions with the uses of sum product. The first one is find the total cost of a pencil. So here we have the item and here we have pencil along with other items, right? So here we have a condition which needs to be fulfilled to find this particular answer, right? Usually when we have this particular scenario, what we will do, we'll use SUMIFS because we are uh, finding the total based on this condition, pencil, right? SUMIFS will give the answer easily, but we can use sum product as well. So is equal to sum product. For that, I'll use this minus symbol 2 times and then I'll open my bracket and then I'll select my first array. I'll tell you why I'm doing it this way. So this is my first array and the second array will be, I can simply use this total because I have it. I don't need to multiply it again and again. I can simply take this total. So if I do this, I'll get the total cost of pencil. Look, so let's check whether it's correct or not first. Pencil. The total is 2135.14, which is nothing but the output which I received, 2135, right? So what this particular function is doing now, why I'm using this double minus and how this is equal to pencil is turning into output. So let's understand it by deep diving the formula. So usually what will happen when you give this particular formula is equal to this is equal to pencil. If it is true, it will give me a true. If it is false, it will give me a false. So in Excel, true and false can be converted to binary numbers, which is nothing but 1 and 0. How you can convert that? Using simple minus function. If you type this minus function twice and give the true, it will convert to 1. And same thing, if you type minus symbol twice and convert it to give it on false, it will give you 0. So true means 1 and false means 0 as per Excel. So same thing we are converting using this minus symbol twice. So it will multiply this true and give you the answer as 1. So now coming back to our example, here I'm converting this particular range into ones and zeros. So wherever this particular condition is met, like item is pencil, it will give me 1. You can see it at the top. And wherever it's not met, it's 0. So coming back to our basic function of sum product, it will multiply 1 into cost, 0 into cost. So wherever it's 1, it's multiplying, and wherever it's 0, it's giving us 0. So that's why it's working as a SUMIFS as well. Based on the condition, it will work. So instead of using a SUMIFS formula, we can use sum product as well. And the next one, find the transactions done by Gil. So here you have a rep named Gil, and let's see how many transactions he has done. So for finding that particular scenario, what we usually use COUNTIF. COUNTIF if the rep name is Gil. That's a simple formula which we can use, but we can use against sum product. So is equal to sum product double minus bracket opens is equal to Gil. So there's no other conditions. I'm just closing the bracket. So here it says 5. So let's see whether it's correct or not. Gil is available 5 times. So there are 5 transactions done by Gil. So in this, what is doing? We have only one criteria, which is Gil. And if I do this, it will give me an output saying whether it's a Gil or not. If it is Gil, it will give me 1. And it's add all the ones together, which is nothing but 5 times. So 5 is the output. We can use COUNTIF, but instead of COUNTIF, we are using SUMPRODUCT. So next is find the average cost of binder. So here we have binder, right? There are various costs. So let's find out the average cost of that. For this, we can use a average if formula, but now again we are using SUMPRODUCT. So instead of SUMIFS, we are using SUMPRODUCT. Instead of COUNTIF, we are using SUMPRODUCT. And now instead of average if, we are using SUMPRODUCT. The multiple scenarios instead of which we are using a single formula, SUMPRODUCT. So let's say again SUMPRODUCT. First condition is it should be a binder. So let's take binder. I need the average cost. So I'll take unit price here. Unit cost, which is the average cost. Okay, this will give me the total cost. If I need the average cost, I have to divide it by number of times the transaction happened. So for that, divide it SUMPRODUCT. And again, I just need to count the number of times this particular transaction happened. So it's equal to binder. If I do this, I'll get a simple average formula output. The average cost is 12 rupees. So let's see whether it's correct or not. Is equal to binder. Unit cost, you can see the average here, right? 11.52 is the average, which is rounded up to 12. Okay, so the next thing which we can do using SUMPRODUCT. Find the total sales done by Zadin and Kibel. So there's a sales rep named Kibel and there's one more guy, Jardin. So if there are multiple conditions, till now we are seeing a single condition, but if there are multiple conditions, how SUMPRODUCT will react? Again, SUMIFS will do the work, or if and conditions will do the work, but instead of using and or are functions, how we can use this particular SUMPRODUCT is equal to SUMPRODUCT. So there are two conditions, right? First, again, double quote minus and open the bracket and then select. First name we have to select is Jardin. So let's select Jardin. Okay, close it. Here we need either Jardin or Kevil. Either it's done by Jardin or it's done by Kevil. So we need to add two conditions. So let's add again minus equal to Kevil. Kevil. So we got two conditions. One is Jardin and the other one is Kevil. If this is correct, what we need total sales, total cost. If I do this, I'll get 5,922, which is the total sales done by Kivil and Jones. Jordan and Kivil. Is nothing but 5921.63. So instead of using OR function, we are using plus symbol and we are getting the same output using SUMPRODUCT. Similarly, we have two conditions again. Finding the total sales of pens done by parent. So parent is a name of the rep and we want to know total sales done for pens. So first condition is rep should be parent and the item should be pen. So if it is or, we are using plus. If it is and, what we need to use is equal to SUMPRODUCT. Equal to parent. First condition is parent, right? close the bracket. We have to use and. So instead of and, we are using multiplication symbol. Again, minus of, this should be 10. If both the conditions are met, we need a total cost again. Close the bracket. So the total cost is 300. So let's see whether it's correct or not. Parent and pen, you have only one line, which is 299.85, round off to 300, which is nothing but this. So instead of and, we are using sum product. So here, if you see, instead of SUMIFS, we are using the same formula. Instead of COUNTIF, we are using the same formula. Instead of average if, we are using same. Or and AND functions, we are using the same formula. So you can ask me, like, when there is a simple formula like SUMIFS or COUNTIF, why we have a complex formula like this? Because this looks a bit complex because we have to use this double minus, and then we have to give a formula like this, right? Earlier in Excel old versions, the SUMIFS or COUNTIF, these are all new formulas which came up recently. But if you are using a old version of Excel, like maybe Windows 98 or Windows XP, in that versions of Excel before 2003, if you're using that particular model of Excel, there's no formula as SUMIFS, there's no formula as COUNTIF or average if. These functions are not available. At that time, this is the only saver which can give you the output for these complex situations. So that's the reason we have a sum product formula in the older versions, and it was helpful at that time. But now with the advent of new formulas like SUMIFS, COUNTIF, and there are many more formulas coming, right? Like XLOOKUP, text after, text before, there are new formulas coming every day. So these formulas are not that useful because there are many easy formulas. But if you still want to do in multiple ways, because in Excel, a situation can be solved in numerous ways. There's not a single solution always. So if you want to try different ways, yeah, this is one way where you can use it. Hope this helps. Thank you.